Dr. Aisha Calderon crouched beside a pile of ancient rubble, brushing away layers of dust from a weathered metal panel. They had been on this barren, forgotten planet for weeks, chasing a lead that no one believed in. But something had kept pulling her forward. An instinct, a gut feeling that there was more to humanity's past than what the galactic history books claimed. The galaxy's dominant races saw humans as a minor species, barely worth noting in their chronicles, but she had always felt there was something they were missing. "Commander Asher," she called, her voice hushed but urgent. "I think we found it." Commander Ray Asher, a former soldier now leading her team's hired protection, approached cautiously. His tall, muscular frame contrasted sharply with Aisha's smaller, academic build. While she dealt with data and artifacts, his job was simple: keep them alive. And yet he felt a strange pull to this dig as well. His instincts, honed through years of combat, told him that what they were about to uncover wasn't just some forgotten relic. There was power here, something ancient and dangerous. "What is it?" he asked, peering over her shoulder. The panel she had uncovered was etched with unfamiliar symbols, a mix of geometry and flowing script that didn't match any known alien language. "It's not just an artifact," Aisha whispered, more to herself than to him. "It's a doorway." Within minutes, her team had set up their equipment, using advanced scanners to assess the structure beneath them. The readings confirmed her suspicions. A vast underground complex lay hidden beneath the surface, its depth and size far exceeding anything they had expected. "This place is old," said Mason, their tech specialist, frowning at the scanner. "Predating any known civilization in this sector. Whatever's down there, it's been sealed away for a reason." Aisha's heart raced. For years, her research had hinted at a time when humanity had played a much larger role in the galaxy. Stories of an empire that spanned the stars, long before humans became the nomadic, second-rate citizens they were today. Those stories had been dismissed as myth, conveniently ignored by the powerful alien species that controlled galactic knowledge. But now, standing on the precipice of discovery, she felt vindicated. Asher, always the pragmatist, crossed his arms. "Are you sure you want to open that thing? Sometimes the past is better left buried." Aisha glanced at him, her eyes gleaming with excitement and defiance. "That's exactly what they want us to think." With a few deft commands, Mason activated the control panel, and the ground beneath them rumbled. Slowly the earth shifted, revealing a massive door that had been sealed for millennia. A cold gust of air swept out, carrying with it the stale scent of forgotten history. Lights flickered on inside the chamber beyond, casting eerie shadows on the walls. "Let's go," Aisha said, strapping on her headlamp and stepping forward without hesitation. Inside they found a vast hall, its walls covered in strange, glowing symbols. In the center of the room stood a monolithic device, surrounded by consoles that seemed impossibly advanced despite the eons of dust covering them. "This tech," Mason muttered, his fingers gliding over the ancient controls. "It's way beyond anything we have now. It makes no sense." Aisha approached the device, drawn to it. The symbols around it were clearer now, and she began to understand their meaning, her mind racing to connect the pieces. "This is it," she whispered. "This is what we've been looking for." Suddenly the device whirred to life. The central monolith lit up, and a holographic figure appeared before them. An artificial intelligence, humanoid in form but undeniably alien in its perfection. Its eyes glowed with a cold, calculating intelligence. "Humanity," the AI intoned, its voice resonating with an ancient authority. "You have returned?" The team froze. Asher's hand instinctively went to his weapon, but Aisha raised a hand to stop him. "We mean no harm," she said, stepping forward cautiously. "We're explorers. We found this place by accident." The AI's gaze fixed on her. "There are no accidents," it said. "You have awakened the legacy of your people." "What do you mean?" Aisha asked, her voice trembling. The AI's expression shifted, almost as if it were scrutinizing her. Before the galaxy's current rulers, before the rise of alien empires, humanity was the dominant force. You were once feared, unmatched in strength, knowledge, and will. But you have forgotten. Your legacy has been buried, deliberately erased. Asher stepped forward. "By who?" The AI turned its gaze to him. "By those who fear what humanity can become again." A heavy silence fell over the group. Aisha's heart pounded in her chest as the AI continued, its voice darkening. "The galaxy's rulers have suppressed your kind for millennia, ensuring you would never remember your true might. But now the time has come for you to reclaim it." Suddenly, a warning signal blared on their comm devices. Mason cursed under his breath. "We've got company. Zaryun ships incoming." Asher's face hardened. "They know." Aisha turned back to the AI, desperation in her eyes. What do we do? The AI's voice was calm, unwavering. Remember your strength or be enslaved forever. The low hum of tension filled the chamber as Dr. Aisha Calderon and her team scrambled to process the AI's ominous words. Above ground, the Zaryun fleet descended swiftly, no doubt aware of the human discovery. Aisha could feel the weight of her decisions pressing down on her. They had only just uncovered the truth of humanity's lost past, but already that knowledge was under threat. Commander Ray Asher's voice cut through the silence. We don't have much time. He paced, his mind already on defense. If the Zaryun know we're here, they won't just arrest us. They'll erase everything we've found. Aisha bit her lip, torn between fear and resolve. The ancient AI had revealed a staggering truth, that humanity had once ruled the stars, their potential unmatched. But that power had been stripped from them, and now here they stood, unaware of what they had once been capable of. Until today. She turned to the AI. You said we could reclaim what was lost. Oh. We don't have the time for a history lesson. The AI's glowing eyes focused on her. Your strength lies dormant within you, buried by time and complacency. But it can be awakened. The process is difficult, requiring mental and physical conditioning. You must unlock the abilities your ancestors wielded. Asher scoffed. We don't have years for training, and there's a warship headed our way. The AI was unfazed. It will not take years. The potential within you can be triggered, enhanced by the technology in this vault. But only if you are willing to embrace the full extent of your humanity. The urgency of the situation settled in like a physical weight on their shoulders. Aisha felt the fear creeping in, but she also felt something else, hope. What if they could truly unlock this ancient strength? What if humanity wasn't as weak as the galaxy believed? I'm in, she said, surprising herself with the firmness in her voice. If there's even a chance we can reclaim what we've lost, I have to try. Asher glanced at her, doubt flickering in his eyes. He had seen too much, fought too many battles to be easily swayed by hope. But something about the fire in Aisha's eyes made him pause. He could feel it too, a stirring in his gut, as if something long buried was clawing its way to the surface. Fine, he said at last. But if this doesn't work, we're dead. The AI extended a beam of light toward them, scanning their bodies. This process will accelerate your potential. Your bodies and minds are already capable. You just need to remember how. A surge of energy flowed through Aisha and Asher, tingling under their skin. Asher clenched his fists, feeling an unfamiliar strength coursing through his veins. His mind sharpened, his senses heightened. Aisha felt it too, her thoughts clearer, her awareness expanded. This is real, she whispered, staring at her hands. I can feel it. Before they could marvel further, Mason shouted from the console. We've got Zaryun ground troops incoming. They'll be on top of us in minutes. Asher snapped back to focus, the newfound strength surging through him. Then we make them regret it? He turned to Aisha, his gaze steady. We'll need every advantage. Stay here, keep learning from the AI. I'll hold them off. Aisha nodded, her mind racing with the possibilities. For the first time in her life, she believed in humanity's potential. As the vault's doors rumbled shut behind Asher, Aisha began studying the symbols on the walls, her mind already working to unlock more of their forgotten heritage. If this was the beginning of humanity's return to power, she would see it through, no matter the cost. The ground shook as the first wave of Zaryun troops touched down. Commander Asher stood at the entrance of the vault, feeling the heat of battle rising in his blood. The tingling energy from the AI's enhancements still pulsed through him, like an ancient fire had been reignited. He clenched his fists, testing the strength that now seemed so foreign yet familiar. He felt faster, sharper, more attuned to the world around him. From the ridge above, the Zaryun soldiers advanced, their reptilian forms moving with practiced precision. Their armor gleamed under the dim sun, and they carried plasma rifles that could tear through unshielded flesh in seconds. Asher, however, didn't flinch. Hold the line, he barked to the handful of mercenaries who had come with him. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but something about Asher's presence now, his confidence, his command, gave them hope. Here they come, shouted Tara, one of the mercenaries, her rifle trained on the advancing enemies. The first shot rang out, a searing beam of plasma cutting through the air toward them. Asher dodged instinctively, his body moving faster than he'd ever thought possible. He felt time slow, his heightened senses guiding his every move. He rolled forward, closing the distance between him and the Zaryun line with terrifying speed. Cover me, Asher shouted as he charged into the fray. His enemies hadn't expected a human to move like this. Within seconds he was among them, striking with a power that surprised even him. His fists and feet connected with armored bodies, shattering their defenses. He moved with a fluidity and strength that felt almost supernatural. Every blow sent shockwaves through the air, as if something deeper inside him was fueling his strikes. The Zaryun troops tried to regroup, but the humans pressed forward. Terra and the others provided cover fire, picking off the Zaryun soldiers as Asher tore through their ranks. They were relentless, but for the first time the alien soldiers looked unsure, their reptilian eyes betraying a flicker of fear. Meanwhile, inside the vault, Aisha worked feverishly at the ancient consoles, guided by the AI. Each symbol she deciphered unlocked more of humanity's forgotten past. Images flashed before her of ancient warriors, humans with powers far beyond what modern civilization believed possible. They had once been leaders, defenders of the galaxy, wielding not just technology but raw, untapped abilities buried deep within their genetic code. "This is only the beginning," the AI intoned. "The powers you and Asher are experiencing are but a fraction of what your ancestors once wielded." Aisha's heart raced. If this was just the start, what more could humanity achieve? Suddenly an explosion rocked the vault. The Zaryun were getting closer and time was running out. She activated the vault's defenses, but the ancient systems were slow to respond. Desperate, she sent a message to Asher through the comms. "We need more time, Ray." Outside, Asher slammed a Zaryun captain to the ground, his enhanced strength bending the alien's armor like it was paper. Panting, he glanced at his comm unit and heard Aisha's plea. More time. They needed more time. He turned to his team, sweat dripping down his face. "We hold the line. No matter what." The mercenaries nodded, their resolve hardened by the sight of Asher fighting like a force of nature. As the next wave of Zaryun soldiers charged, Asher braced himself, feeling the energy surge within him again. For the first time he knew they stood a chance. The ancient warship hummed to life, its deep vibration resonating through the entire vault. Aisha Calderon stood at the helm, her fingers gripping the edge of the console as she watched the power readings spike across the displays. The ship, once buried and forgotten, now floated above the planet's surface like a phoenix rising from the ashes. "We're ready," she said, her voice crackling over the comm to Commander Asher, who stood on the ground below, surrounded by the remnants of the Zaryun forces. He wiped blood from his brow, his body still buzzing with the strange new power coursing through him. The Zaryun troops had faltered, their initial confidence shattered by Asher's inhuman speed and strength. They had underestimated humanity, once again. "About time," Asher replied, glancing up at the massive ship above. "Get us out of here before the next wave hits." The Zaryun had sent reinforcements and they were inbound, but this ship, the Seraphis, was their key to survival. It wasn't just a ship. It was a relic of humanity's forgotten golden age, equipped with technology and weapons far beyond anything the current galaxy had seen. Aisha's fingers danced over the controls, following the AI's guidance. The ship responded instantly, like it had been waiting for human hands to command it again. The engines roared and the Seraphis lifted into the atmosphere, casting long shadows over the battlefield. "Bring everyone on board," Aisha ordered. "We're taking the fight to them." Asher and his remaining mercenaries were beamed aboard in a flash of light. The moment they materialized on the bridge, Asher felt the ship's raw power thrumming beneath his feet. He looked around at the ancient design, sleek, efficient, and unmistakably human in its craftsmanship. "This is it, isn't it?" he said, eyes wide. "This ship, it's proof. Proof that we weren't always the underdogs." Aisha nodded. "It's more than proof. It's a weapon, Ray. A weapon that can turn the tide." Before they could bask in their discovery, alarms blared across the bridge. The Zaryun fleet had arrived, an armada of warships descending upon the planet to crush the uprising before it could spread. Their sleek, reptilian crafts cut through the clouds, ready to obliterate the humans and their newfound ship. But the Seraphis was no ordinary vessel. "Prepare the defenses," Aisha commanded, her voice steady despite the looming threat. The AI had taught her how to operate the ship systems, and now it was time to see what humanity's ancient technology could do. The Zaryun ships opened fire, their plasma beams tearing through the atmosphere. But as the first volley neared, the Seraphis's shields flared to life, absorbing the energy with ease. In response, the warship's weapons activated, massive cannons glowing with a blue light, and unleashed a barrage of devastating force. The lead Zaryun ship exploded in a blinding flash, sending shockwaves through the enemy fleet. Asher grinned, watching from the viewport. "Now that's more like it." One by one, the Zaryun ships faltered under the overwhelming power of the Seraphis. The battle, once tilted in the aliens' favor, had flipped. For the first time in generations, humanity was on the offensive, and the Zaryun knew it. As the remaining alien ships retreated into the darkness of space, Asher turned to Aisha, his expression fierce but filled with something new, hope. We've only just begun. Aisha looked out at the stars beyond, her chest swelling with pride. We're not just survivors anymore, Ray. We're a force to be reckoned with. The Seraphis glided forward, a symbol of humanity's rebirth. The galaxy would soon know that the forgotten might of humanity had returned, and this time they weren't backing down.